And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 243. So I hope you guys had a great day and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, I am going to be having a conversation with Leanore. This is going to be her first appearance on the show. So it's awesome to have her here for the first time. We are supposed to do this, I think a few weeks ago, but she was just being like my dad. She was just trying to not be in my life as best she could. And then she figured out why I was called the Riz Master. So she basically asked, like, hey, do you need any like thumbnails or any like assets for the show? And I was like, no, all I need is you. Pause. And she was like, whoa, see, that's how you do the Riz. That's how you get them. See?
I mean, I definitely had no words. There were no words. I'll give you that much. I had no words.
Well, how was your day?
I was pretty dope. I did my first sponsored stream earlier, and it
sponsored
really
by Pornhub.
It only crashed a little. No, sponsored by GrabTap actually, which sounds pornographic, but it's not. It's mobile games. Some of them look pretty borderline porny, though. I have to check some of them out. You know how the game thumbnails be, though. It's like, okay, there's waifus everywhere, but when you click it, it's just some gotcha brain trap. So we'll see how it goes.
Are they like those games where you see like the ads for them on like YouTube and they look kind of cool, but then when you download them, they're just jank as hell?
Well, honestly, there's a bunch of different games through the actual like partner that I'm with. The game specifically that I was promoting is like it's like a competitive match 3 game where like you're matching the different colored jewels and shapes and shit, but you're doing it like competitively against another person in a turn-based thing. It's hilarious. It's like if I can make something that shouldn't be competitive, I'm gonna do it. And they just presented me with this opportunity to make money doing it on stream, and I did it. And it only crashed once for like a second, not the stream, but like the game. And it wasn't the game, it was my connection to the thing. There's something really janky about trying to stream with a mobile device, like having it connected to your computer as a source. There was like hours of troubleshooting involved just to make it work without just a severe delay. I was going to cry, but I was determined to do it without an emulator. I was like, I could just do this an easy way, but I am absolutely determined to make this as difficult as possible.
Well, I think it's just because like phones just inherently are weaker machines, so to speak, than like PCs. Like way weaker. Even if you get like the high-end top brand newest phones, they don't even compare to like the average PC you could buy at like Best Buy, which is actually sad, but that makes sense because it's supposed to be a device you're supposed to be able to like, have on the go, for
it doesn't need to have extensively hardcore hardware.
Yeah. So, since this is your first appearance on the show and, later on in the show's lifespan, until we get canceled by the network, I'm the network, actually. This is how everyone usually likes it. So whenever you have like a second and third appearance and fourth appearance on the road, when you're like, older and you're like married and like to some, black guy from the NBA, maybe you get married to like Anthony Edwards. Who knows? Maybe you go and you try out the dark side. I don't know about your life, but we would like to know your origin story first. So let's start here. How was your life growing up, actually?
I mean, it was okay. My parents are still married. They were great. I don't have any of the I don't have any childhood trauma. I'm just chilling, just vibing. It was like boring, white middle class childhood. Super like I had like the supportive parents, like all the cliches.
What? Like you didn't have like the tragic backstory?
No,
like
I have no. I did not have like a tragic backstory. I mean, like some shit happened, but it was like to other people, so I was just like indirectly affected. It was like, oh, that's a sad thing that happened to that person I really cared about, which makes me sad, but nothing like directly to me. My life was pretty chill overall. Lots of scraped knees and stuff, the usual. That's it.
You grew up.
That's it.
So you said you're in your late 30s. So that means you were born roughly around what, the 1990s? Like
1989, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the start of the 90s.
Good Lord. So you're a 90s kid. And remember back then when you could just like stay up at night watching like Adult Swim and just not a care in the world. And you just wake up and go to school. Your parents were probably pretty mad you stayed up that late.
Look, yeah, I mean, kind of. their whole thing is, as long as I got up and went to school, they didn't really care. As long as I wasn't breaking anything or getting myself into trouble. If I was in my room watching TV,
But, okay.
there's so many worse things I could be doing.
Well, no, what I didn't mean. I'm not calling her old. I like, women that are more older are definitely smarter and definitely are not. It's crazy that Karens do this a lot. What's crazy is that they're actually insane, but you understand where the insanity comes from. Their dads hated them. You would not believe this. So I went to a strip club in Vegas. Pause. Right? It's crazy, right?
Pause.
And this girl that was dancing on one of my colleagues that I've had on the show every once in a while. I finally got a chance to meet him in real life. This girl had mommy issues. Literally, I'm having this girl dance on me. She made me do it. She made me pay her. She had me touch her. I got molested. Lady, I have to console you with this story. You got to, put me on your chest and, pat me on the head. I need to
Goodness.
see. And after she gets done doing her tricks, she manipulated me into having me giving her money.
She forced herself on you and then robbed you, is what you're saying.
She was white and she said she liked
sexually assaulted and robbed by a beautiful white woman.
I literally, she said all the right things to me. She was whispering sweet nothings in my ear. She said she would sit on my crotch. She said she liked anime.
she said she would touch my crotch, which pretty much after that, I just heard white noise. There was nothing nothing else. All the blood rushed to my ear, to not my ears, but yeah. Yeah. No,
God.
I get it.
So after I'm just receiving this type of dance from a woman at the strip club, and then all I hear is the other girl basically saying, "My mom, I hate that bitch." I'm like, holy fuck, where did that come from? Because freaking one of the other guys that were there is like essentially trying to minister to like strippers, and it's like these women are literally like. I guarantee you they've had guys that have come in there and be like, "Why are you doing this, my lady? You should not be doing this. I'm gonna whisk you away." They don't care.
Let me save you.
Yeah, it reminds me of when
I drove
Lily
it in
Phillips.
a white Bronco.
You know that white girl Lily Phillips when she subbed with like 100 dudes in 24 hours. You had like
Yes.
that fucking idiot, that Russell Wilson guy, trying to like minister to her, and it's like I'm sitting there going like, this is why dudes fail with women. When he's ministering to her, God loves you and all that fucking mumbo jumbo, talking about space genies and shit. She doesn't care. She doesn't care at all. It's crazy. Like I have no clue why girls do this. I don't get it. And I also don't get why guys go like, man, I must save her. She is just this perfect being. It's like this is not a TV show.
To the streets, and to the streets she shall remain.
This is not a TV show. It's not a TV show where you go up to a random girl you meet and be like, "Oh my God, your boyfriend is beating you up. I will save you from him. I'll take him out for you." It's not how that works, guys.
It doesn't ever happen in real life. No, it doesn't ever happen. It never happens. No, they're always targeting the chick that's just purposely being promiscuous. She's got daddy issues. She's a hoe. Her life is fine. She's making these choices. Yeah. They always walk up to those women. But if the meek, actually in an abusive relationship woman in the corner on the back of the bus, they don't see her. They don't see her at all. Like, they could actually white knight and save somebody, but they're like, no, I'm not to save a hoe, not save a woman that actually wants to be rescued. I would like to ruin your paycheck, ma'am.
I swear, she literally had every talking point that you would hear from girls on Twitter. Almost like because I could understand why girls like her have those talking points because they grew up in that era. So like us, we're like the previous one before that, I think it's like Gen X or whatever. So like Gen Z people were essentially born in like what? So when we were like 10, 11 years old, they were like just born in the year 2000, essentially, if you want to count that.
Oh, yeah.
So that means that they grew up in that time period where like feminism and all this other like activism bullshit started really, really becoming big. So like in their school system, a lot of it changed, whereas ours was based off like the previous. So I understand why a lot of younger people that were born like 10 years, earlier than me have those ideals. But it's crazy how people that grew up in the generation that we have these ideals, because that doesn't make any sense, honestly. It
doesn't. When you think about it, you're like,
like a younger kid not knowing it is fine because, well, they don't know any better. That's why they always try to indoctrinate younger kids because, well, they don't know anything. You just don't know the full context of what people are saying. And you rely on that person to give you like backstory on these things, and it just doesn't happen that way because, well, it's not in their best interest to tell you that, black people own slaves. You know, in the craziest school, they never actually told us that black people owned slaves. We were just told to believe that it was just the white people just wanted to do it because they just want to fuck with black people, which is literally not true at
Right?
all.
They were just having a bad day.
They
Just
just
having a bad
literally
day.
it's might be one of the biggest lies I've ever heard in school. It's like, well, white people just had slaves just because they had them. It's like that's just literally not true. It's just
They were just
factually.
having a bad day. That's all it was. They were just having a bad day. It's not even that serious.
Leanore, ask MSK about his 2018 collector's edition Fire TV. Okay, she's not gonna do that because
Oh, am I
good lord,
not?
no, because
Am I not? Am I
okay.
not? I'm
So
not doing that.
I have to get a TV stand for my TV, and I have to, basically put it together. That's it. See, I came clean. I'm already doing better than most black men you've ever met in your life who've lied to you.
Okay.
You know, like how many black men have you met in life? How many black guys you've met in life where they've actually told the truth? If you can count on, can you count on like both your hands?
Look, I'm pleading the fifth several times. Several times. It's cool.
Oh God, man.
I'm gonna not. We're fine. Everything's cool.
Yeah, like and it's crazy. Like I'm pretty sure you've seen like Charlie Kirk and Officer Tatum and those guys that go out to college campuses and debate these college kids. The reason why I've always said like conservatives or people on like the right or right center, whatever that is, kind of lose the kids because they don't actually talk to them because they feel like they're better than them or they're stupid. Well, if you think that way and you don't ever talk to them, you ever tell them why what they believe is wrong and kind of show them why it's wrong, well, of course they're going to stay on that one side. They don't know any better. They
Yeah.
just don't. It's simply not going to be a factor in their life. That's why when you hear them talk in those videos, that's why they're not smart or sounding like they're insane because they've just been lied to their whole life. Hopefully, after those conversations, they'll go like, maybe I'll look into to the other side and see what's going on, But you never know. Do you have any friends in real life like that? They're like blue-haired feminist like that?
No, I don't. I really don't. Like it's. I mean, a couple of us have obviously not normal colored hair, but I think
You have
my
pink hair.
the female friends. Yeah, my hair is not a normal color. It's fine. Like the colored hair thing. Yeah, I have friends that look like they might be in that group, but we're of the generation that like we did all this for fun self-expression, and then like as to like we've all just grown tired of feminists. So it's like no, and we frequently will have people walk up to us and just start talking about stuff, and then when we open our mouths to respond, they immediately get confused and they think we're trolling them. They're like, "Oh, you're joking." Like, no, I like dead ass disagree with everything you just said. Please stop talking to me. Like 100%. I wish you would stop breathing anywhere in my general radius. Like I no longer wish to perceive you as someone who exists.
Did you see the one recently where I think that's one lady went to this like ICE facility in like New Jersey and like she said these people are in here because they grape children, kill children, all the most heinous things possible. And then this lady's like they all deserve rights. It's like she's like these
They all deserve rights.
Yeah, she literally said that. And then the other lady responded with like they're child rapists, and she's like, I'm a political scientist. I'm like, what the fuck?
I did not know that was a synonym for.
I'll find it for you. I had to find the video and send it to you. It's absolutely brain rot. This is just it's insane.
Ridiculous. No, say it ain't so.
I came here to chew bubblegum and make fried chicken jokes, and I'm all out of gum. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. I told people this on Twitter. I'm the king of trash talk. I love trash talk. And someone says, like, well, if you trash talk me, yeah, I don't care. I'm not literally don't care. Trash talk is entertainment and makes things more fun.
Yeah, fair. It's like banter. Bants. Everybody likes
yeah. Yeah. But some people now have made it, oh my God, he said an Asian joke.
I'm more offended. Oh!
Yeah. And then if you tell them, hey, dude, why are you so offended? It's like, I'm not offended. How dare you imply I'm offended? It's like literally what happened.
You are.
So I made some Asian jokes. All I did was make a few Asian jokes, And he's like, I'm not complaining. He's like, yes, you are. You quote tweeted me like 5 times. You're definitely complaining. And then you're like simping for some old dude's fucking 40-year-old dried up hit the wall wife. She wouldn't care if you died today. Why do guys do that? I don't get it. I must defend her honor no matter what. She doesn't care if you literally if you drop dead right now, she would not care.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of my friends will get in on it when, like, I'm bantering with random people online. They'll get into it and talk shit back.
Oh,
And I don't
no,
think it's
no,
because they're
yeah.
trying to defend me. I think it's just because they're like, get a fucking load of this idiot. Get
Yeah.
a load of this
No, but
idiot.
there's a difference between,
Check
like,
this one out.
you can tell when
You can
someone's
tell, yeah. You
Yeah.
can tell if that's, like, even if that's what they're trying to do, you can tell if they're good at it or not.
Yeah.
Like, some people just aren't good at it. Like, they're trying to be funny. They're trying to
mine doesn't
banter,
work.
but it just doesn't hit right. And, like, you got to be really mindful about how you present that sort of stuff on the internet, especially when there's no, like, verbal communication. You got to type with a purpose. You know, like, maybe, like, I'm not saying go so far as to use an emoji, but type with purpose. Make sure that when you read that back, the fact that you're joking is being conveyed at least to a point, even if it's just the meanest thing you've ever said in your life. Slap an LOL at the end of there, you know, do something. Just, like, don't like 4 quote tweets. Like, I've had people respond to the same thing 4 times and then with their whole chest and say, I'm not mad. And I'm like, I replied to you once. I come back, I have 7 notifications for that one reply. You heard my notifications 7 times, and I've replied to you once. Yeah. But no, you're not mad. You just you're just really making a point that's really, really important to you.
Do you know what's crazy? Is that and then if that person's offended, then their friend will get in there and be like, well, because one of them did that. One of them was like, why did you tag people? Why didn't you just talk to this person by yourself? I'm like, I don't care. Like, what? Are we analyzing how people talk to each other on Twitter now?
Look, I'm pretty big on the just people should care less vote.
Yeah.
Like, just choose not to give a shit. Like, if you say something offensive, somebody can choose to be like, I don't really care that guy said that. Like, they can think it was a dick thing to say and also choose not to give a shit at the same time, right? But those two things can happen simultaneously. The number of times I've just, like, gotten bored and just choose not to care when somebody was saying something stupid. Like, it's, if I have a moment to kill and I don't have a mobile game I feel like playing, I'll roll up Twitter, look for the first person who's mad at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mad. A thread.
Yeah,
literally. Like, reasons why I'm not mad. 12 fucking posts later, like, make it make sense. You don't need receipts for why you're not mad. Like, like, I don't.
Yeah, like, I straight up don't get it. Like, it's one of those things where I could understand if you just saw that and you went, oh my God, this guy's a piece of shit. But if you actually, people don't even do this on Twitter. They don't even look through to see what the context may have been. It's like, keep in mind, I tell people this. I've had a life where I've kind of trash talked my entire life. I've either done very good and very bad for me, but it's kind of the person I've always been this way. You know, I trash talk friends that I've been around my entire life. Like, I trash talk that guy James, you guys know. I trash talk like every day. He trash talks me. It's a fun thing. You know, I figure to myself, if I'm gonna be on Twitter or social media, might as well just make it fun. Might as well just have some fun because, you know, there's no point in this being an escape and you not making it a type of escape of an environment. So if I'm trash talking, it's not because I'm being an asshole to you. It's because I'm just having some fun.
I mean, yeah, that's genuinely the vibe that I'm chill with. I tell people all the time, like, you can be an asshole around me. Just try to be funny about it. Just try to be funny about it. That's, like, my bare minimum. Yeah. Like, if you're going to be an asshole, at least be funny about it, because at least then I can defend that. Well, he was at least being funny. Like, I don't agree with the thing he said, but at least he said it in a way that made me giggle. You know what I mean?
She's not like, a VTuber, Michael. This is a real human being.
I am a real human being. I just didn't feel like being on camera.
You don't want to be on camera with me. That's crazy. She literally was like, a black guy? Nah, I'm good. She was like, man, I see a black guy on camera, I'm gone.
My sponsored stream, to be completely honest. I've just been really lazy this weekend. Okay. I'm just chilling.
This is the reason why you didn't turn your camera on being around a black man. Your dad will disown you. He'll be like, oh my God, I've seen you around a black person. I'm done. Money's cut off. That's the real reason.
I mean, no comment.
Damn it. Crazy.
I will neither confirm nor deny these allegations.
See, that's the thing, is growing up, you realize Uncle Ruckus was right.
I mean, look, that show is really funny. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that.
Wow. I'm just pointing out. You grow up, you realize Uncle Ruckus was right. That's all I'm saying, honestly. You know, everybody else is coping. That's how it works. Trash talking is what I call MSK talking through his new mic. What? Hold on. Ooh. Oh my God. All right. I know I sound good. I've already checked audio quality. This guy's fucking with me. But don't worry. You see, there's a reason why you watch me and I don't watch you. That's the thing, Just
Shots
sorry.
fired! Shots
There's too many
fired!
shots fired. God, man. Oh my goodness. Good God. So let's start here. So after you got out of high school, did you do the whole college thing, or you were like, college is a scam and I'm not doing that?
I mean, I technically work for a institution of that nature, but I attended an art institution
Oh, that's
briefly.
cool. Okay.
Um, Everything else I've done professionally, as far as like day jobs, was just done from like experience, kind of a thing. Like, here, I can prove I know how to do this, and they were like, fair enough, bet. Here's the job. I'm really good at interviews and resumes, so I've never struggled to find employment as far as that goes. So the whole like extra education just didn't seem like the move. I'm particularly proud of my lack of student debt. Wasn't a thing. Never needed it.
So so you wanted to be like an art major or something like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been doing art like kind of semi-professionally. The first time I got paid to use my artistic talents I was like 13 fixing to turn 14. And so I've been pretty much doing that consistently on and off as a source of income since then. And then I think I got my first job in fast food when I was like 16. And then I've pretty much had a day job in addition to the art since then. I'm one of those people who doesn't know how to, like, boredom doesn't suit me. So I like panic fill my schedule to the brim just so I never have any downtime. I don't like being alone with my thoughts. It's not great.
So after that, did you end up like getting married and having a bunch of kids or something like that? That's how the story usually ends for these kind of
I mean,
things.
no, I was in a shitty relationship that I thank God never actually got married or had kids for a while. A long time, actually. I just recently, a couple years ago, got out of that. That was that
So
was that was shitty.
2023?
Yeah, like it was pretty recent. It was pretty recent. I was
Wow.
like 15 years.
15 years.
I
You've been
was
the
in
person
that.
since 2010 to
Yeah, yeah,
2023?
yeah. We got together when I was like 18,
And you're like, you
and
know what? Nothing serious like marriage. Fuck that.
then I think I like knew it was bad, but it was still in the weird denial thing. So I actively chose not to have kids or get married, and then eventually I finally got rid of him, and my life has been just dramatically improving since then. So that's why I've been able to do more things like be on podcasts, make myself 3D models of myself, and work on content again. Like that's something that's just recently started to be possible.
Okay. So you're enjoying the single
Yeah,
life
I've kind of
after.
been well, I'm not single at the moment, but I'm not I'm not in a terrible relationship that holds me back anymore. So there's that. There's a huge difference between being with somebody who's super supportive and wants to help me create content and be all that I want to be, I guess. That sounds stupid, but like, it's a big dramatic change from being with somebody who's like, no, I would rather you not do any of that ever. So it was just like occasional videos or occasional streams. Even like doing the commissioned art became a problem after a while. So that tried to trickle down. And then finally there was the breaking point. And then didn't take me long after I got rid of him to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to start doing more art again. I'm going to start streaming more consistently. And now more recently I've started being in a position where I'm like, hey, I'm reaching back out to people who had inquired if I wanted to be on their podcast or be on their show, and I'm like, hey, I can do that now. Like that's a thing I can do. So that's fun. Being old as shit and starting over is so much fun. um it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Again, I'm not like alone, single, dying with a bunch of cats or anything. I have a dog and a serious relationship already because I just can't help myself. I'm a serial monogamist.
So, well, I'm glad you're in a different relationship now that's way more supportive because,
Fuck yeah, me too, dude. Like, I'd be chill if I
awesome.
was alone, but like, it's nice to be
No, but
I don't
girls
have to
like,
hire an editor, right? Like, I don't have to hire an
yeah.
editor. He's
Mhm.
funny, so I can be like, hey, like my stream will suck if I just talk to myself. So I'm like, hey, like pop on here for a minute. Like let's entertain people. Like I can
Yeah.
like rope him into it. He participates. So it's not just like he supports me. I can literally force him to participate.
Also, what's good is that it still also proves that women just like male presence around him. Security too. Like,
For real. Yeah, no.
yeah.
No joke. I mean, like, I like women, but like at the end of
Hey,
the
I do
day,
too.
I
Crazy.
was in a relationship with a woman, I would be the one that felt the need to protect her, and that just sounds exhausting. So, no thanks. Like, no thanks. I'm good.
Yeah. I like women too. They feel soft.
Fair.
Yeah.
I will say that. Like, you less frequently have to be like, hey, so there's a thing called exfoliating, and here's a bottle of lotion, and no, it's
A
not for
bottle of
that.
lotion. Oh,
It's
that's
for other parts, right? Like, you can use it on other parts of your body. I know that sounds strange, but like, I promise you can.
so. What made you start doing YouTube then?
I don't actually rightly know. I can't. It's probably like most things. Somebody probably told me more than once that I should, and so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll give it a shot." And
That
it's
was
like
it.
that was it. It was enough people were like, "You should do this," and I'm like, "Sure, I'll try it. If I hate it, I hate it." And I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't hate it. I just didn't have enough time to do a lot of it, and I mean, I don't have a whole lot more free time now, but I'm better at time management, and the free time I do have isn't spent, being in a shitty mood. Like, it's so good to not be in a shitty mood. Like,
Yeah. Because like
it's just
I don't know. I hate being in bad moods most of the time. It's just
I mean, I don't know. Look, I was gonna say who doesn't like being in a good mood, who doesn't hate being in a bad mood, but like,
yeah.
there's definitely people out there that I feel like thrive on misery. It's like every time, it's like they're purposely fucking their own life up so they have something to complain about, and I'm like, make it make sense.
Isn't
Like, you
that
did this to
most?
yourself, and you do it to yourself every time, and I need to know why.
Yeah. That would be like most girls nowadays. I feel like they do
Yeah.
the thing. It's like
Yes.
literally watching a train. It's like you're gonna watch a car crash. You can't
That's
look
why
away.
that's why we don't deserve rights anymore. Not enough of us are smart enough to make decisions that aren't self-destructive. If every decision you make is a bad choice, right? Like, if
Yeah.
every time you've made a choice in your life, you look back on it a couple years later and you're like, wow, I fucked up. Maybe you shouldn't ever be able to make like voting choices, right? Like, you shouldn't be able to pick the president. You shouldn't be able to help pick policies. I'm not even sure you should be able to consent to your own medical procedures at this point. You're just not mentally fit. I'm sorry. You're just like, there's a point where your loved ones can sign a piece of paper that says this person keeps screwing their life up. Please stop letting them make choices. And I feel like that point doesn't happen soon enough for a lot of people. Like, I just want them to make smarter choices. That's all I want, and they don't. And I know it's ultimately not my problem, but it makes me sad.
Yeah, but pointing that out to women, then they would call you a misogynist. And
Oh
it's
my
like,
god, yes. I've made so many of them mad by making the realization that the term "pick me" is actually a misogynistic term. Its entire purpose is to shut down women who don't think the way other women want them to think. It's like, if you go against the grain, they have to try to devalue your opinion by saying you only have it for male approval. And I'm honestly, ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit if men or women or literally anybody
right.
approves of me. Right? Like, I have, especially now, like, if I, like, during the brief periods I'm single, maybe, sure. But ultimately, I usually don't care. I don't care. It's not a problem for me. So I'm not doing it because of what other people think. If I'm saying I have an opinion, it's because that's my fucking opinion. I formed it all by myself.
Yeah.
It's like I'm holding it out going, look, I made this. And they're slapping it out of my hands and saying it's garbage. And sometimes it hurts, but mostly it just makes me want to slap them in the face. So
why are you so violent? What is wrong with you? You need to not be as aggressive.
I don't do it. I just think about it. I have like one of those scrub style like mental things where I like
you like one of those characters in a comedy show where like you envision like ripping someone's heart out of their chest and throwing it,
and like you see it, but then like the camera pans back out and I'm still just standing there glass-eyed staring at them with a smile on my face, like, yeah.
Those were always really funny, like episodes where like dudes would like
100%.
rip each other's arms off and then whack each other with them, and then it just like it cuts back to the present. It's like, hey, you
and
there?
none of that happened, and then like the person's just staring there with a smile on their face. And everybody around them's concerned. They're like, are you okay? And
What you're saying is you're essentially insane.
I mean, yeah, but functionally and not in a way that's dangerous. So, like, I'm doing better than most white women, I think.
Yeah. This is something where
the bar is low, but I'm still doing okay.
Like, this is something that I've talked to with women about a lot. And it's something where I don't think the average woman gets the concept of what you said a second ago, which is the fact that if you can't always be trusted to make good decisions, why should you vote then? So
Yeah, you
apparently,
shouldn't be able to make
yeah,
decisions for other people if you can't even make good
especially in
decisions for
math,
yourself. Like,
make
it's
decisions
not
for the
that hard to
entire
vote for both of them.
country, you know?
Like, you're not just making decisions for yourself at that point. You're making decisions for a lot of people. And if every decision you have ever made for yourself was garbage, why should I trust you to make decisions that are going to impact me?
Especially
Like,
women that are known to be more emotional. Like it's just a thing that women are. They're just emotional. So
I mean,
if
fair.
everything
And
you
you know what?
do is
That's
emotional
biology.
response, you
Like, if
know,
they want to be mad at somebody if we want to be mad at somebody for us being emotional by and large, like, it's biology. That's who we'd be mad at. It's not everybody else's fault for pointing it out. Like, calm down, ma'am. You're hysterical. You're kind of proving my point right now. See how you're freaking out about me making an observation? That's that shit right there. That's what I'm talking about. That shit right there. That's what I mean.
yeah,
That's exactly what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
because the thing is, well, basically, if
Yeah, no,
I'm
that's okay. Walter's correct in the chat. That should be true for all people. Like, if every decision you make is terrible, you shouldn't be allowed to make decisions for other people. I feel like that's a basic concept. It just would heavily impact women. If it was put into practice,
Mhm,
women would be the ones it would impact more. And that's okay. They did that to themselves.
mhm.
Like, we collectively didn't get together and, like, tell each other to cut the fuck out aggressively enough.
No,
So this is
that
what we have
that
to deal
means
with.
I know she's completely based. If a woman ever agrees with me, I'm like, all right, this lady's based as hell. Because I'm just pointing out the fact that the reason why I don't think women are as smart as they say they are is because women now say they have no rights in this country, when in
What do you
reality,
mean? Oh my god, the first time a feminist was like, the glass ceiling, I was like, where? I've never seen it. Oh, you're gonna say because it's glass? Because I know you damn well never cleaned it, so I'm pretty sure I'd be able to see it. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What's where? Where is it?
where are
Because I've
these?
literally not, if anything, I've gotten jobs I absolutely shouldn't have gotten because I refuse to believe people more qualified than me didn't apply. But you know what? I went into the interview and I smiled and I looked really professional.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was it. It's not, look, they're not asking for much, ladies. Honestly, they will just smile. I know that sounds really bad, the whole smile more trope, but it's like, they will be nicer to you if you don't automatically come at them with bitch face. Like, I know most of it's resting. I have to put effort into resting bitch face myself. It's not a lot of effort. It's really not. I promise. And it just makes your day easier. It really does, because
Mhm.
people aren't immediately off foot by your presence and they're nicer to you. And I think that's a privilege most women have decided they would rather spit on than embrace. Like,
Or they make up things to make it sound like situations don't go as what they seem. So like a woman will be like, "Well, I didn't get this job because this fucking hiring person is racist." When in reality, I don't know if when women actually think about things deeper than a surface level. If there's a bunch of people applying for a job, that means
right.
the supply of that job is
That's what I'm
very,
saying. Like, I
yeah,
don't typically go into a job and be like, I'm for sure going to get this job. Unless I know I'm overqualified for it and have no business
yeah.
to apply for it in the first place. I go in there realistically, like, there's a shot I'm not going to get this, especially if it's a desirable job with a lot of applicants. So if you don't get
Mhm.
it, don't immediately start playing, like, my identity was the problem. Because probably not.
Yeah,
Probably
because
not. If
yeah.
anything, it's probably why they were afraid to say no. Because of
Well,
what you're
supply
doing
and
right
demand.
now.
If
But
if you
if it's a
have all these
desirable job, it's just
people.
going to happen.
Yeah, because like if you have basically a ton of people want this job and there's very like small positions available and like 20, 30, whatever, well, there's a good chance you won't get it. It's just how the law of averages work. It's how
Yeah,
just the numbers
exactly.
were, you
And
know?
yeah, and that seems like a much more logical, but that's an Occam's razor thing. Like, it's the most logical response. It's the most
Yeah.
logical. It's most
I
logical.
try to be
So,
really
like,
smart.
assume it's the easiest and most simple solution instead of going all through all these mental gymnastics and being like, there were 100 applicants, but I'm positive that the person that I spoke to
I
remembers
had
my face
pronouns on my
specifically.
application though.
And it's like, and you know what? There's something to be said. I've seen videos for people that are like hiring managers for big corporations saying that the more about their identity the person has in their little signature or on their resume, things that aren't really job relevant, but they feel are really important, they typically don't get first pick. And it's not because of anything other than the concern that they'll cause problems in the workplace,
Mhm.
right? Like, they'll take things offensively that shouldn't be. Just statistically, because it's what happens. And I'm not saying that they should disregard everything else on the resume because of that, but I'm saying it happens. And if you would just go into the interview with a normal ass resume, smile, tell them why you deserve the job in the humblest of humble braggiest ways, you'll get more jobs. And it won't matter if you have a tattoo or a piercing or your hair is pink. They don't care as long as you seem pleasant, because they have to be around you for 8 hours a day. Don't be insufferable. These people have to be around you. Make them want to be around you without calling HR.
I also think another reason of it is women have been told there's this pay gap myth, this they just believe bullshit. I think
I mean, there's not, but I think it's because everybody started getting paid less when women joined the workforce, because they said everybody got screwed over when we joined the job force, ladies. Everybody. It wasn't just y'all. Everybody. We screwed the men over too.
Remember the big thing?
Now that you want to know why we need 2 income households now? Y'all did this. This is you.
Remember when women were we want to be a part of construction and men are holding us back? I've never seen women in my life until maybe I was in my 20s. I saw few girls actually working in construction. I just thought I don't know why women think this way. There is just certain jobs that are more attractive to women and men. It's just how it's why
I got a job in construction, but it wasn't the construction part. It was a clerical job at a construction company, because I know my place. I know what I'm good at. I'm good at filing. I'm doing the paperwork. I'm good at air-conditioned environments. I'm good at shaded indoor air-conditioned environments. I'm not, manual labor. Forget that. No, that's not happening. I'm sorry. I'm an indoor
I just don't understand why women don't see things past the surface level. It feels like it's all just surface level, because when you actually ask them, they'll say things like patriarch and all sort of bullshit. And it's what are you
don't
want
to do
about?
The job, lady. You're oh, men are holding me back. No, men aren't why you don't want to be in 100-degree weather in direct sunlight for hours lifting heavy things. That's not why. And it's okay to admit that you don't want to do that. It's fine. I don't want to do that. Are you kidding me? If I had to keep from starving, would I? Sure. But if I have the choice, which thank God I do, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. If I have the choice, we're not gonna do this.
Yeah,
no, and neither are they. So for them to be mad about no, somebody's.
So I wanted to clarify. Because I know Walter's fucking with me. I meant to say I've never seen a woman in my life that really liked working construction or manual labor. I've literally
and if there is one, it's a very particular type of woman who typically also likes women. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying it's statistically my observation, my lived life, my lived experience. Don't come at me invalidating my lived experiences. I'll use your languages against you.
Oh God, man. Who? And then it's crazy. These women don't even look that bad. They're actually pretty attractive, and you bang them, and they're actually insane. They're actually just deranged. They're literally deranged. I know you've seen those videos, those reels on Facebook or Instagram, where a black guy will ask them body count, and the girl will say 10, and the guy will be like, "What's the chances I can make that 11?" And then she's 99%. And then you see videos of her getting banged out. Now, that's really me, person with iris at women, but it's women aren't really beating the whore allegations.
No, fair. And I'm I don't know, maybe they didn't take the same sex ed classes in high school that I did, but I've seen pictures of what happens when you get massive body counts, and that's scary and gross. And I just why would you risk that? It's gross.
Remember the whole thing called the hoe phase? Remember that?
So why? I would just shake my head why are you doing this to yourself? Stop. This is gross. You're gonna look back at this later and either lie about it or regret it. Nobody's gonna be proud of this later. Not you, not them. It's just bad choices all around. You're better.
There was a clip, I think, from Extra Emily. I'm pretty sure you know who that is. She was talking about a hoe phase, and she was like, "Well, people can do whatever they want with their bodies, and if they just decide it's not for them after doing it, it's fine." And it's that's not, because you said it's normal. It's that's not normal.
What do you mean? The hell? Was she trying to look born again Jesus? What are you gonna go bathe in the rivers with a priest and suddenly you're a no, you can't. You can get unfucked. I'm sorry. It's the miles are on the tires, ma'am.
The-
You can't
on the Civic or
roll the
something?
odometer back on that. I don't know what you mean. Like, what are you
No,
talking
you
about?
can't? Oh my god. That's no
I mean,
fun.
I think there's surgeries now, but I think you got to go to
What?
like Korea
Ew.
for that. It's gross,
Gross.
yeah. Right? It's like I'm not gonna like unless I'm giving birth, I'm not gonna want stitches anywhere near there. Thanks. Like, what do you mean? Just
Good
don't be a
god.
whore. It's not hard. It's not difficult. It's really actually a lot easier than everything you're doing.
The
It's gross.
problem is like I've seen too much in my life, just to say that, you know? I,
Yeah,
I
I feel like you joke a lot to cope with some trauma. It's cool. It's cool.
no,
It's a safe space here.
no,
It's a safe space here. It's okay. You're safe
no,
here.
no. I'm coping with the fact that I'm not a white person. I'm literally a white black guy.
Oh,
See?
that's valid. Your feelings are valid.
See? This is the thing is I understood what Uncle Ruckus was saying. He was like speaking like from the word of God to me.
The word of God.
Felt like he was just saying something from the heavens, and I was just understanding what he meant to say. No, people laughed at him, but I got the real deeper meaning behind it.
You're speaking to
Remember
you
that?
personally, like on a
Remember the
personal level.
episode where he woke up and he was like, "Well, I guess I'm black." What? You know those things that you just characters just
That
say in
reverse
shows, you just laugh.
vitiligo.
Huh? See, there are new age women now with prostates, apparently. You know?
It's so no, there's not. That's not what that is. I'm sorry. Stop. You're gonna get me in trouble.
God, I'm just saying, like, there, there was a video where one of them was like, "Hey, all you straight men out there, why won't you date me? I look just like a woman." And then everyone in the comments just said, "Because you have a dick, and we're not
I mean,
gay."
like, do you like take all your clothes off, look in a mirror, and tell me, like, do you? Do you?
Delusion's hard on people. That do you remember that episode of Gossip Girl where Dan was like, I don't know, interested in Blair, and then he's talking to this other girl. He said this famous line in the show that I use still to this day, and I use it in every episode. He says, "Blair, you're listening to the ramblings of a deranged person." That's the best quote in the show. It came in like season 5. That's
It
the best.
is. Oh man, I haven't watched that show in a
God,
long time. That show is one of those things where, like, when I watched it the first time, I just watched it normal, and then when I tried to rewatch it the last time recently, I was like, these characters are fucking children. Like, they're in high school. Like, why are they behaving this way? What are you doing? And that whole thing where, like, fucking Serena's getting blackmailed because the guy overdosed of cocaine
yeah.
in the hotel room with her. I'm like, ma'am, that was an adult man, and you were like 14 years old. You know what's not going to happen? You getting into any trouble because an adult man
That's what I
was
thought
trying
too.
to do cocaine with you in a hotel room while you were
Yeah.
14. You know, you're not going to get in trouble. You know what's
She
not going
was
to
like,
happen? You're not
remember?
going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
They're going to
Yeah.
they're going to regret the money they spent on his funeral is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Because
Like, what
she
do you
was like,
mean?
"I killed someone," and I'm like,
No, you didn't. You were a child who left a crime scene. What do you mean?
remember that face he made? Blake Lively got better with acting with the show throughout its seasons, but that episode, I think it was like season 1, episode like 19 or 20, or whatever. Because back then, if you guys don't know, TV shows used to go like fucking 23 episodes for a season. Nowadays, it's 8, and they can barely make fucking content out of
Oh
that.
my god, I love it when I'm like really into a show and I'm like, yeah, we're only on episode 5, and then 2 episodes later it's the finale, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, right. I'm used to like, oh, I have to really get to that finale. I have to
What do you
really.
mean a season of a show doesn't take up a whole year and the downtime's not 3 months? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Back in the day, back in my prime, there's this YouTuber I watch, super delusional. He thinks he's white, rich, tall, and good looking.
Is it this one?
I see the delusional part's not true. I got the rest of those traits. Hi, Cyfax. How you doing, man? But with Gossip Girl, did you end up finishing the whole show?
Look, I think so. I recall who Gossip Girl was, if that's right there at the end.
Do you think it got weaker with each season? Because a lot of people said
it got a little more convoluted with each season.
Yeah.
Like, every time I was like, okay, now I don't like every time like weird shit was happening, and I was like, okay, this is fairly well written. Like, this seems like if you pretend that the reason that these literal children in high school are having these situations occurs because they're just ridiculously rich, and that's what happens in these rich neighborhoods, like, which seems horrifying. But if I suspend my beliefs enough to accept that, then everything else kind of plays out in a way where I'm like, wow, I mean, that's at least remotely plausible. And then it did get to a point where, honestly, if they had written it to where, like, one of their houses was fucking dead ass haunted with a ghost that they had to get exorcised, I would have been like, sure.
That's what it felt like for a lot of those like CW shows. Like it felt like
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
were
because
just
they would
so
always
bad
come,
they're
all of a
good.
sudden there's ghosts and, like, everybody has superpowers. I'm like, what do you mean?
So I watched a ton of them. I watched I did watch Gossip Girl. I watched The Vampire Diaries. I watched the originals. I watched Smallville. I watched Melrose Place. I watched Life Unexpected. I watched The
I didn't
Flash.
watch most of that.
You don't watch
Like,
the
I'm
you
gonna be
don't
real with
watch
you.
any
I
of
didn't
the
watch most of that.
DC. You don't watch any of the DC Arrowverse
Okay,
stuff.
I think I watched the original of the, like, Arrow. I think I watched some of that. I watched, like, a little bit of the beginning of some of them, but then, like, I just didn't have time, and it wasn't something I prioritized, so I just never watched it. And nobody I talked to had enough to say that sounded good enough to be like, okay, well, I'll pencil it in.
Wow, that's crazy. That's
Yeah,
insane. So
it
what
just
did you
happened.
watch around that time period then? That would be like 2010, the start of the 2010s, honestly, pretty much.
I don't know what else was on the air then.
Damn.
Whatever
Because,
that
like,
was.
you know how back then we were, like,
Like,
invested
I
in
guess I
watching
didn't
the
really watch a
shows?
whole lot of stuff. Like, if I was in my room, I was probably playing a video game, and where I was, like, outside touching grass or something.
You were touching grass. Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy. That's insane.
it's
How
crazy.
dare you go outside, have a life?
It's green. It's some, some of it can make your nose itch depending on the grass.
You did meth, lady?
What? No, like, if you're allergic to grass, it can make your
Oh,
nose
I thought you meant
itch.
you did.
Relax.
White people, they do this.
No, only bad white people do meth. I'm not a bad white people.
Yeah.
No,
Allegedly. Maybe back in the day, you know.
no,
Those
literally
only.
never. Fun fact.
Oh,
I'm pretty proud of that, actually.
so what kind of a nerd lady are you? You were mostly into like video games, you said, right?
Video games, science fiction, old school anime, horror movies. I watch a lot of
Horror
horror
movies?
movies. Yeah.
God, okay. All right. So you related to Sydney Prescott in Scream, where
I mean, I didn't relate to her, but, like, it's just fun to watch the way that these movies, like, the directing when it comes to, like, you're literally running for your life. A monster man in a mask is chasing you with an obscenely large blade with intent to murder you. And the way that they direct these women, like, run this way, run into this closed room, run right past the sliding glass door that isn't locked, up the stairs. Like, it's just so funny. I like to, like, analyze some of them. Like, there's something to enjoy about just about every horror movie. Even if it's a really bad one, why is it bad? What makes it bad? What did they fuck up on, and why is it funny?
you don't think so? I think it's always the
Those are the things you
characters.
should focus on.
I think it's always because characters in horror movies are some of the worst ever, and it's like they're unlikable. I guess that's how they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it's
Look,
the
I think
characters
that's
that
like
are
a
always
coping
trash.
mechanism. They want the characters to be trash, that way you're not sad when they die. It's kind of like it's one of the reasons, it's how they've started to try to make horror movies palatable. Like, by just making the characters unlikable. So when they die horrible deaths, you're just like, huh, gross. Like, you're not upset that it happened. You've got no emotional investment in them. There's no real...
Sometimes you're even rooting for them to die, too.
Yeah, sometimes you're like, yes, please die.
Mm-hmm.
This is boring. I am tired of your face. I can't wait for you to get axe murdered. That would make my day.
So, with video games, let's start there. So that's like the one you're known for, I think, mostly. Joking. So, what kind of a gamer were you growing up? Because, like, technically, since you're a girl, you're in the minority when it comes to this stuff.
I guess I never really thought about it when I was growing up. I just sort of hung out with who I hung out with, and it was because of the games we played in common, or because of, like, proximity, like the kids in the neighborhood. And I always assumed that the only reason they're mostly guys that I hung out with was because that was just who was in the neighborhood. And we would just sit around and play video games. I never really actually thought about demographically that there was because of, like, an exclusion, or that it was weird until, like, later on when other girls told me. They informed me aggressively that I was in fact quite strange. they had no bones about it. But I really liked like fighting games, like side scrollers and fighting games back in the day.
So you were into like Street Fighter and like Virtual Fighter and like Tekken and
Absolutely, yeah.
stuff?
I was
Okay.
really into those, and then over time, I got into like the first person shooters. I also played I played a little bit of everything, right? Like my dad and I played the first Diablo, and then all the like BattleNet, Diablo 2 online, and like when they would put bounties out on forums for people's ears for like actual human real spending money because players were obnoxious. I will neither confirm nor deny whether or not my ear was ever on a list of people ears that they would pay money for, which is basically just the consequences of trolling on servers back then because there weren't enough mods. It was like the wild, wild west days of the internet online gaming. Back when if somebody picked up the phone to make a call, you'd get kicked out of the game. Those good old days. I did a lot of PC gaming after that became like a more prevalent thing because it was easier to just upgrade a PC than buy a new console.
Were you more of a PlayStation or an Xbox or like a Nintendo girl, or were you like all three?
I mean, mostly PlayStation and Nintendo, and mostly Nintendo because I have family members that get every single Nintendo console after it comes out, every time it comes out. So I can always just go over there. I don't actually have to buy it. I can just go experience it, check it out, which is always fun when you don't have to invest money in it. But I don't even have a PlayStation 5. I have a PlayStation 4. I haven't even upgraded that. I have a big fancy PC at that.
Oh, she's just flexing on us, guys. She's flexing on. God.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. I just got it like less than a year ago, or about a
So
year ago,
how are
maybe.
you feeling? So since you always kind of have Nintendo, because like you said, family has it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Nintendo Switch 2 then?
I honestly, I haven't had a good chance to look back into it super recently. The last thing okay, the pricing is ridiculous, but the first thing that I remember is there were those like schematics and like the 3D models that leaked a while back, and everybody was pretty convinced that they weren't real. And like Nintendo was like, no, that's not real. That's not what it looks like. And then like it actually released, and they were like, that's what it was. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is exactly, you didn't even change anything after it leaked. You just made it. You lied.
Oh
It's like that
God.
you changed the wording of the diagrams to explain the parts. That's what you did. Is that what you did? I'm so confused.
I'll still never forget when the PS5 Pro was announced and one of the actual, the specs that people put out on Twitter, like the list of things that it
Yeah.
has. One of the ones that we're bragging about was the PS5 Pro it has Wi-Fi support, and I'm like, I hope a console made in 2025 has Wi-Fi support.
Right. That's
Fucking,
ridiculous. Like the fact that they put that in there. Like, what do you mean? What
what
do
is
you
it gonna
mean?
run off like fucking air?
That's
My
like putting
Smoky?
rechargeable battery on the screen. Like, what do you mean? It's like features, rechargeable battery, light up LCD screen,
Yeah, yeah.
wireless compatible.
God, it's like, yeah, it's like they put Ethernet connectable. Like, I hope look, those should be just mandatory, like
What do
easily.
you mean?
Yeah.
It's like here's a console that you can't play anything on unless it's connected to the internet. Right? That's like they've made that pretty well established. Like even if it's a game that you own and you've downloaded it and you paid for it, if you can't connect to the internet to validate that you own it, it will try to argue with you about playing it. But they're gonna sit there and act like the fact that it can connect to the internet is a perk. Like, of course, it's not a perk. It's a required function.
Yeah. Back in the day, you would just turn the console on, open the slot, put the disc in, hit the button, disc goes in, game starts, and you
Yeah.
play. So
No, like I
simple.
still have a functioning NES. It doesn't look like it should be functioning, but it works. You put the game in, you push it down, you push the button, it turns on, you play Galaga. Everything happens. It's nice. It's nice.
Well, since you started with Street Fighter and all those games, did you play Street Fighter 5 or the newest one that came out recently?
I played a fair whatever the last. Oh my god, I don't remember which Street Fighter I have on my PlayStation. I don't think it's the most recent one. I'm pretty sure it's
Last
not actually.
Yeah, because the one on those PlayStation that was Street Fighter 5 that came out on the PS4, I think.
Then that might be it.
Yeah, because they made
Hardwick in
a.
the chat might know. He is pretty good at Street Fighter, not gonna lie. I
I
haven't
would
played it
love
as
to
much.
play. Like they released the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. They released the Capcom vs. SNK collection.
4?
I love
Street
that
Fighter
stuff.
4. Street Fighter 4 is apparently the
Street
last one
Fighter
that I
4. Okay.
played.
I love playing Street Fighter. Those are some of the funnest games ever. It's crazy. They reduced Cammy's butt cheeks. Apparently in one of the newest ones, or it was leaked that they were going to do it. It's like, why? Why are they?
Why
Why can't I be allowed to
indeed?
goon to women?
That's 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 literal blasphemy. I'm appalled. Like, what do
Oh
you
God!
mean?
Like, you know what's
You
crazy?
can't nerf them cheeks. That's vile. What the
That's
fuck?
that's why I would. Why would anyone else play Cammy
Uh,
besides looking at her ass when she does her pose after she beats you?
I mean, it certainly helps. I mean, it's the reason you pick her if you haven't played in a while, and then when you start playing her, you're like, oh yeah, I remember these moves. But like, you don't ever remember the moves, and that's why you pick her. You pick her because you like
Yeah,
them cheeks, and then you're like, oh yeah, she kicks a lot.
like, ah, God, it was crazy. I remember like playing Street Fighter or like other games like Spider-Man 2. Sometimes when the girls died, why do they always moan? Every girl that died in the game moaned
Marketing,
sexually.
marketing. The same reason that you can install apps on phones that have little styluses in them, and when you pull the stylus out and put it back in, it moans.
Good Lord, these guys are crazy there.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. But that's one of the reasons why, like, I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the reasons why I was like, I don't want to always have my camera on while I stream, but like, people watch you less if there's not something for them to identify with. And then I was like, you know, anime girls is one of those things people throw just as much money at as they do OnlyFans girls.
So you're like, I
And
can
I don't
get
even
some
have
money
to
here.
like look. Mine's in a T-shirt for fuck's sake. Like I didn't like. I don't even. You don't even have to go hard with it. You're just like, look, I'm an anime girl, and they're like, oh, hello, how are you?
Oh
Here's
my
my bank
God.
account information, my social security number.
I must give you all of the money I just got paid for at my
Right,
job.
right, right. I plan on doing like a once a month stream as an anime girl, right around like a Friday. I feel like
Goodness
Fridays at the end of the
gracious.
month is a good it's a good time to target, the audience
It's true.
that
I
watches
agree.
anime girls. Working on it. I'm developing like a t-shirt, socks, waifu pillow situation. Nothing scandalous, just comfy.
Hello? All right.
Just like a big ass just a big t-shirt, so like the pillow
If you
looks like
start,
the size of the
I'm just
t-shirt,
I'm
and
just
it's just
saying
like
right
a
now,
head on top.
if
Just not
if you
even.
if you start sounding like Hinata from Naruto, I'm out. I'm just done. Can't do it.
Nah, too lazy for that shit.
Oh God. Because since you
You have
said
to pay me money to do voices. It's one of the things I'm hireable for.
you voice act.
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh,
Again,
okay.
it's one of those things I got bullied into. Somebody was like, I need you to narrate and do voiceovers and do all of this for me. And here's a mic. I sent it to your house. It should be there tomorrow. And I'm like, what do you mean? I guess. Okay. Sure.
All right. So now you're as good as Sean Schimmel and Chris Abbott.
No,
It's
I'm
insane.
as a person, better.
Okay.
As a person, better.
I imagine. Yeah,
As
I
a
hope
voice
so.
acting resume, never gonna get close. But like as a person, better.
You got to do a play on. Remember when Goku was like, and this is what it's like to go further beyond? You got to do it eventually. You got to start screaming on stream. Like that, remember that black kid that went Super Saiyan?
Look, sometimes that just happens. The repo streams that me and my friends do, on Wednesdays, I get so startled. I do just be screaming like I'm trying to go Super Saiyan. It's pretty funny. It's pretty fucking funny. And the little robot heads in that game, it's basically I'm just like running around like a flapping trash can, screaming at the top of my lungs. It's some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever experienced. I did work with Linda Young, the voice actor for Frieza, on a short thing.
Really? The newest
Yeah,
person, the newest
she's
voice
not
actor
the
for Frieza.
newest. I don't know. I don't think she's the newest. She's the
That's
sweet
the.
old lady, Linda
Oh,
Young.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sweet old lady. She's one of the. She's like I think the first voice of dubbed Frieza I ever heard. So when I
Yeah, it's the one where
and
it
I didn't
sounds like
know
a
right away
smoker
that she was
chick.
going to be on the
Yeah.
project. I just knew that I was speaking to a character named Granny, and then I listened back, like I listened to the project, and I went, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean that's Granny? What do you mean? Make it make sense. Why didn't you tell me? I wouldn't have messaged her, I promise. I wasn't gonna make it weird. I might have
So
made it a
now,
little weird.
so you're famous essentially. Good
I mean,
lord.
not really. I'm working on it. Okay,
Good
like I don't
gosh.
like the idea of being famous, but I like the idea of making money entertaining people because that seems great. It seems better than most jobs.
That's what always kind of threw me off about like what people would say about voice actors, where they're like, "Oh, well, it's just them performing with their voice." Isn't that? But that is harder if you think about it, though. You have to convince
It
someone with
is
your vocals, then,
because you're
'cause-
not
yeah,
relying on facial expressions. You have to actually like
yeah,
overact. It's one of the reasons why things that randomly get like when you watch something and the voice acting cast just consists of like regular actors, it
mhm,
might not be that good because they're used to being able to use their faces and bodies. And when you're acting on screen, the big sell is to being able to act without your voice, right? Like use your face to sell the scene. And voice acting is the complete opposite. Your face isn't selling anything. Your voice has to do all the work. You have to use the inflection, all of that thing, like tone, all of it. You have to like believe in it. You have to like close your eyes and picture it. You be dramatic. And 9 times out of 10, you're fucking voicing a cartoon character. Put
mhm.
a little ridiculous into it. Like think about it. It's not it's not complex, but it's not easy. And there's cases where it's like they productions that are trying to save money on studio time, they'll just have people like read shit for these big productions. They'll get like actual celebrities to come in, hand them a script, they'll have them read everything once and then leave. They have no context of what's happening, really, just a little note. They don't get to like try again if they think it was garbage. So then we end up dealing with like garbage. We listen to it. And it just pains me sometimes when
Mhm.
I'm like, they put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. I'm upset.
Well, the thing that threw me off with the whole voice acting conversation people were having on Twitter was when like you would talk about like animated movies and like live action and shit like that, and people would just dog on the animated ones, not even because they didn't like them, and oftentimes said the animated ones are better. They would dog on them just because they're animated. That was their logic. That they were animated. And I was like, but they're still movies though. They have directors, producers, writers.
Yeah,
They have
they have
everything a
like
regular
the
movie
exact
does.
same crew basically. It's just
They're not
the
filming in locations and all that other stuff. They're just filming in like,
yeah,
yeah.
and it's not necessarily even cheaper to produce in some cases
Some
because
cases a
depending on
lot more
how full
expensive.
length and
Yeah.
depending on how the animation is,
Mhm.
whether or not you hire a big enough team to where you're not overworking everybody to where, their families are writing you hate letters as a director. Like big art direction teams, dubbing teams, sound engineers,
Yep.
the
Mhm.
Foley crew, the color coding crew, the fucking like if you divvy everything up to different departments of like highly qualified people that you can afford to pay, you'll get a really decent product, but it's not going to be cheaper than if it was live action. It's
Yeah.
just going to be more cohesive because you're going to be able to stylize it. You're going to be able to suspend belief of the viewer a little bit easier because they're not looking at real people. It just allows you to do extra storytelling without extra exposition. You don't have to explain why everything's weird. It's a fucking cartoon. Just accept that it's weird.
I just that was my mindset. I'm like, people, because I think it was a Batman one where people were like, I love they'll tell you I love Under the Red Hood. That's like one of my favorite movies of Batman. They're like,
Right, right.
cool, and then they'll be like, well, I like The Dark Knight better, and it's like, all right, that's fine, but why? And like, and the person will be like, well, it's live action. It's like, that's the only reason why. What? I've never seen movies like that.
Is
In
it the
movies like,
like? Yeah, I've seen some stuff where I genuinely like more often than not I'll come across something that's technically animated, but it's highly underrated. Like the voice
yeah.
acting is top notch, the animation is amazing,
Mhm.
and like I've never heard of it before. I just stumbled across it, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's a travesty. Everybody should have been talking about this. Why did I just hear about it right now? What do you mean?
It's just such a weird thing where someone's way of knocking something down is if it's in a different medium, because people are going to watch this in the replay and
Yeah,
go, well,
yeah.
what was the essence of the part of it. The part of it is that people are knocking a different medium just because it's in a different medium, and not because they don't like it. Because oftentimes they're not. I would
Right,
say there's
right.
better animated things than live action things. Yeah, I
They
mean,
just have a bias.
yeah, it's all pros and cons. I will say that it's all pros and cons. But the way people shit on voice actors, hey, some of them might have crazy liberal politics, fine, but they're so good at their job. Keep in mind, you have to
As
convince
long as they're
someone of your
actually good
voice.
at their job. The only issue I think I personally have ever had is it's not necessarily even with the voice actors. It's with the localizers or the translators that think that they get to completely change the context of the original thing.
Oh, I know what
And
you're
that's
saying.
not
Yeah.
normally the actors, right? The
Mm.
voice actors don't always, in most cases, have control over that. They get handed the script after that already happens. So by and large, it's like I could disagree with the person and still be like, okay, well, I can listen to their voice, and sometimes it sucks when they don't. Like if they're not the
Doesn't
one that's
everyone
on it.
love Kevin Conroy? Well, he was a voice actor, guys. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like, I don't get this argument where just because they weren't in live action, that means they're somehow less. People just want to treat them like they're lesser, and it's like that's just stupid.
Why?
That's
Because you
actually
don't recognize their face right away. Because if they walk down the street, you wouldn't be able to harass them unless they spoke in a way that you would
Mhm.
recognize. Like that's why a lot of like that's one of the reasons why voice acting is a desirable job for a lot of people. It's because you can get away with doing something that pops off, and if you didn't use your real name or didn't have your face attached to it, you, you can get away with doing it completely anonymously in some cases. Or if you just don't go to like award shows
Yeah.
for a while, like people don't recognize you. You can just live your life without people being like, "I'm gonna take a picture and be weird about it."
Gosh, like, are even like it's also cool if you follow a bunch of different voice actors and you see them in other stuff, like
Yeah,
the Adam Johnny Young Bosch, who was obviously in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers season 2. He came in it for Zack, the Black Ranger. Well, people don't know he's
yeah,
voiced Ichigo,
yeah,
Bleach. You guys all recognize him from that.
yeah.
He's did Trigun. He did so much stuff, and it's like it's crazy how people wouldn't if you heard him, people wouldn't even know that's probably him that voiced Ichigo. You'd be like, damn, he did a good job. See,
Yeah.
he had to convince you how good he was at portraying Ichigo to you with his voice. You didn't even see him actually do the physical motions. I mean, you can see the physical motions on DVDs and behind the scenes, which is really cool.
Yeah.
You guys should watch that. It's actually amazing. But keep in mind, if you have to convince someone of your voice, that's way harder to do. That's insanely. I don't even know why there's even an argument with it. I mean, you could argue people can't emote if they're not acting properly, but that itself is way easier to
So the
come off.
voice, yeah, it's a little bit harder if especially since a lot of times the animation might not have all of the same nuance in the facial expressions. And you really need that voice to sell it depending on the art style. You really need that like drama behind the voice to really make it work. Or if the face is really super expressive and you don't present it enough to match the energy of the illustration, it just hits wrong. It's definitely something that you can't just do super easy without thinking about it. You got to put a little thought into it. You can't just read out loud. But yeah, I'm man,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm also getting tired.
You're so. Oh my God, I'm
Getting
boring her.
sleepy.
Dang it.
No, no, it's getting late. I'm getting tired.
Good lord. So we'll wrap it up here in just a moment. A few things I'll ask you before we head out, which is, you know, does pineapple really go on pizza? Now we're
No,
here for another 10. Yes, I agree. Pineapple pizza is disgusting.
no.
That shit tastes like
I
trash.
mean, like my mom likes it, but like I'm not a fan. It tastes bad.
It
Like
tastes like actual shit, does it? It's
it's
awful.
so bad. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I
Like
don't.
pineapple and ham are good together, but not on a pizza. Like
Like
it
ham on
doesn't.
pizza tastes amazing.
Ham is fine on pizza, and
Yeah.
pineapple is fine with ham. But pineapple and ham on pizza, not so good.
Yeah.
Like there's limits. There's certain things that just don't get mixed together. Like you
I,
don't
I
do it.
like sausage and ham on my pizza. Give me the biggest sausage down my throat on pizza. I love it.
And yeah, I could tell you were a meat lover fan.
Oh, I love meat. No homo, just only with the food.
It's okay. It's a safe space here.
I like women. I've had sex with a lot of women. It's easy, you know? Risen ain't easy, as they say these days. Wait a minute. That's probably because I don't go outside at all.
Yeah, you usually have to leave the house to encounter women.
Like, how do you talk to them? Women are so
You
just.
just you just say words in their direction, and either they're going to be a cunt and walk away and say shitty stuff back, or they're going to be like, "Oh, okay," and they'll listen to the
Uh,
words you're saying in their direction.
uh,
It's just that easy. It's really we're not unicorns. We're just people. You could just say words at us and see what happens.
I guess the only
I mean,
unicorn is my dad, essentially, if you're really thinking about it.
yeah, a mythical creature.
Oh, oh, last few things I'll ask you. First thing, which is, do you have anything coming up that you would like to let the audience know about?
Well, I do my weekly streams Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on all of the platforms, usually at like 7:30 p.m. Central. Sometimes they vary. Wednesday is always repo, and Thursday is always some sort of like drinking and drawing stream. Sometimes there's karaoke. I think Tuesday, this upcoming week, we're playing a variation of Cards Against Humanity and just trying really hard not to get me suspended from all of the platforms. So that'll be fun.
You have to drink in order to draw and be around people.
Well, no, I don't have to. It's just sort of the fun because, like, sometimes I'll start drawing and it'll look really good, and then the entire box of wine disappears, and then I'm like, guys,
Just magically, right?
bad.
Yeah,
It's
just
not as good. It's not as good. Or it's somehow better, or like my favorite part is when I go to sleep and I think it's terrible, and I wake up and I'm like, actually, this fucking slaps. I did good. Like, it's like I remember doing it, but I hated it at the time. My perception was off.
it's not like those one night stands for those girls I used to have. That
It's just a gimmick. Like I don't like get blackout drunk or act retarded. It's just part of the gimmick. Instead of drinking and driving, I'm drinking and drawing. It's the safer
true.
alternative.
And then
Yeah.
when the girls woke up and saw me, they were like, they hated the very touch of me, hate the very
Yeah, it
look of
was
me.
like Coyote Ugly. They had to chew their arm off to get out of bed without waking you up.
God. Well, speaking
Weren't
of
you
getting
relieved to
canceled,
find out you hadn't killed her though? Like I'm
no,
sure
I'm
that felt
not Michael Myers. I'm not that guy
yeah,
that
you were
shoots
just like, oh
people.
god, it's an arm, and then she like, there's a text on your phone. She's like, sorry, I had to go, and you're like, you left your arm, and she's like, it's okay, you don't need it.
Nope. Just turns out it was my cat. It was just my bed. I didn't sleep with any girls. It was just my couch.
Oh,
My socks got really crusty that night.
well, now
Joking.
I'm sad, and that saved my cat.
No. Oh my God. Good Lord. Last thing is, do you have any shout outs you want to give to anyone in particular and anything else you want to say before we head out?
Um, Erdwick in the chat. He's my partner in comedic crime. He's usually on my streams. Follow him on Twitter. It's just Erdwick the Hero.
Oh, it's a raccoon guy.
Yeah,
Oh, I like him.
yeah.
Yeah. Squirrels are better, you know.
I mean, they're small. They're rats in fancy outfits.
How does he feel about the squirrel from the movie Up? That's the real partner in crime he needs to have.
Oh, I don't
See?
know.
Like when people
Very
see
heavy
raccoons,
filler.
they're generally terrified. If you saw
I
a
mean,
raccoon,
fair, yeah, raccoons. I can see why people are scared of raccoons. I think they're cute. Like, I always want to pet them, but like, I know I shouldn't pet them because they have like hands with like sharp claws and their teeth are like tiny wolf mouths.
and they
So,
have
like, I know
rabies,
better. They don't all have rabies. They rarely have rabies.
allegedly.
They rarely, allegedly, sometimes carry rabies.
Good Lord. Lady, you're gonna have to not touch furry things, okay? You have to keep your hands to yourself. You know?
Look, the urge to be a Disney princess is always very real. And then I have to remember that, like, in real life, animals have diseases and mites and fleas and teeth. And they will use all of those things to ruin your life if given the opportunity. And I try not to give them the opportunity. But they're so cute.
Goodness gracious. But what about, see, if he's a raccoon, what about beavers then? He could be a beaver. Because beavers are fun. They built their own dams and everything. They're like cool. No?
I mean, like, if you want to have an animal alter ego, you could be a beaver. That could be your thing.
No, people will make way too many black jokes.
I mean, maybe they would make just enough. Maybe it's the perfect amount. Maybe it's the right amount.
Like if I was a lion, I'm obviously gonna be
like,
a lion.
how do you know it's way too many unless you try?
That's true. You know?
I would like to see the math.
When people said there's a gorilla, like gorilla versus 100 guys, I will say this right now. the average person, like women, just saying, let's just even throw in women to help the guys fight the gorilla. Women sometimes are scared of tiny cockroaches that cannot do anything to them. Do you think the average person just runs from gunshots? They're not even charging the gorilla. Let's just say that it's not happening. People are acting like they're fucking Goku from Dragon Ball Z. No, no, no. We're Yamcha. We're not doing shit. We're gonna
Right,
get actually
right,
destroyed.
right.
The
You're
average
Yamcha
person
at
runs from
best.
everything.
Let's be honest. Like at best.
Hey, I know I'm a professional around women. I understand women. I think just like them. I understand them more than they understand themselves. But no, like any guy saying like, oh, 100 guys can take a gorilla. No, I'm just gonna bet 50 of you run away from it. So it's 50, in my opinion, versus 100 gorillas. That's how it works. The average person straight up is the biggest pussy you've
I mean,
ever
like,
met.
don't fight a gorilla. Like, don't fight gorillas. Don't do it. Leave them alone.
I'm not. I'm putting things in a
It's like,
perspective.
leave them alone.
But
Like they won't fight you for no reason if you they're not gonna like suddenly come running out of the fucking jungles just throwing punches for no reason. Just leave them alone.
well, it was great talking to Leanore for the
Yes,
first
this has
time.
been fun.
Yeah,
I've had a good
I
time. Thank you for having
I know
me.
how to entertain women. It's just what I do. You know, I'm a professional for whatever that's worth on YouTube. So, gosh, man.
Demonetized.
Fun fact: we're not monetized yet.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah, I mean, I could be monetized. I already
I
hit the
mean,
numbers.
I do monetize streams, but like YouTube's not the one giving me the money, so
Good God.
samesies.
See, I could just open the OnlyFans and then just put my
Right?
feet on there.
There you go. Only feet. Like paint your toes and
Oh,
stuff, and
thank you,
like
Edward.
shave
Thank
your
you.
toes,
Yeah,
wax them and stuff, and like use camera perspective. You can make them think it's lady toes. Like they'll never know.
I literally could do the
They'll
whole
never
process to
know.
be a YouTube partner right now. It's one of those things where it's like in the show where the guy wants the girl so bad and he finally gets her, he just realizes, damn. It's like when you fight the boss character and the boss character becomes a playable character, then you play the boss character, like you kind of suck, you know?
Right, right. You're mad that it was so hard to beat them in the first place. Like
Yeah,
how?
you're more happy you actually chased the goal rather than getting the actual prize at the very end. You know?
Yeah, fair, fair. I like the extra perks that come with it, but not necessarily the money. Like there's the extra features and stuff that you can get after you get certain milestones or whatever. It's pretty dope.
All right.
I
So
think you make more faster doing sponsored streams than
probably do.
monetization. So I'm okay. I'm doing all right.
I need to go out there and get sponsored by Fansly. You know what?
Yeah,
That's what I need to
you
do.
go achieve your dreams.
God, she's dying inside. I can see it. She's like, this guy's crazy. This guy's mentally deranged. See, I'm not a deranged person. I'm just loco. Mic drop. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you.